What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, this is TWA Motorsports, and today we are still waiting on parts for the Trans Am. Okay, we're waiting on parts for the green truck. I told you guys about that a few videos back. The green truck transmission is toast. I showed you this new white truck in that video also, and still the transmission's bad there, but we're waiting to get the trans back, or the transmission, waiting for some parts. We'll get the trans out of that, have it rebuilt, and put in the white truck. But anyway, you can see that we've made some progress on the OBS. The bed is now at the painter's shop, and which you're gonna see in a video very soon what we're going to be doing, and kind of the reason. Now look, I wanted to give him some space so he could work on the bed and get it all lined out, but I needed the bed off, and we'll talk about that in a video very soon, hopefully very soon anyway. Anyway, today we are going to be working on the Silverado, and so I'm cruising on Facebook Marketplace, which I should never do, and you know, I don't like 16-inch wheels, so I found some wheels, and you can see them right here. I'll show them to you in a minute, but I've got a couple sets I want to show you guys and talk about. But I did take this thing to Paintless Dent, and the guy did a phenomenal job. If you guys are in the Springfield area, I'll list his information down below, but he pulled all the dents out that he could. Now granted, there's some paint missing in some spots. He can't put paint back on, but he did a great job here because this was completely caved in. He pulled all that out, got all of it except one little crease. Just because of the way it was bent, he couldn't do much with that, but looks a ton better now. No door dings whatsoever, unless it was a spot where he couldn't, you know, really get to, or it just wouldn't come out. I know there's some on the door on the other side. I didn't want to take the trim off because it's in such good shape, which is very unlike me, but I didn't want to take that off, so he did the best he could to pull with it in place. To be honest with you, on the driver's side door it had a couple, but anyway, looking better. And so today, like I said, I got some wheels and tires. We're gonna put those on. I'm not necessarily sure, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna take the LS badges off. I'm for sure gonna take the 1500 badges off because they look really goofy, but the trim on the side I'm gonna leave. I'm just gonna clean this thing up. And I'm also at some point gonna show you guys a video. I've had several people ask, you know, like, how do you clean a car up? So I'm gonna show you guys. I don't know whether I'll break it up in like an interior and exterior video, but I'm gonna show you guys because it does make me crazy to drive a dirty vehicle. Every one of my vehicles, if you look inside of them, are very, very clean. I don't like dirt on the floor. It makes me nuts. My kids even know when we get in a car, if I've just cleaned it, they kick their feet off. So if that tells you anything on how I do things around here. But anyway, like I said, we're gonna do the wheels, we're gonna take the trim or those badges off, and then down the road we'll do a clean. You can see how this just drives me nuts, how nasty it is. I wanna show you the other side as well, because it's really dirty. It does need a buffing. I don't know how crazy I'll get on the outside, but the inside for sure. And these door jambs just make me nutty. Anyway, guys, but today we're going to do the wheels, the trim, and then I also got some lower end shackles just so we can get the back of this down, and then we'll talk about the center caps here in just a second. But I want to show you guys the wheels. I found some relatively close to me and I like the look of them. They are the Texas Edition wheels. I just always thought they were a really good looking wheel. The downside is I go to buy these, the guy was firm at 500 bucks, and I couldn't pay 500 bucks for them. They looked pretty rough. They were covered in dirt. And so I shot him an offer quite a bit lower than that, and he ended up taking it, but I kind of regretted it after I bought them. So honestly, guys, I'm gonna sell these. I actually think I've got somebody that's picking them up very soon, a relative of mine, or actually a friend of mine, not a relative. So I think they're gonna be gone, but they were just a little too rough for me to mess with. If somebody wanted to paint them black, it'd be okay. But the way these things are made, they paint them and then they use a bit to grind them down. And so you can never really fix them the right way. It's more headache than what it's worth. And you guys know I hate black wheels, so I can't paint them. So what I found was another set of wheels relatively close to me, and they had tires on them, which was even better. And the tires are in decent shape. They're probably like 50% tread or better. But these are the wheels that I originally had on the green truck that you guys like so much. I switched them over to the Tahoe. When I sold the Tahoe, of course, they went with it. But that is what we're gonna be putting on here. So the Poor 16s that, just so you guys know, are in the best shape I've ever seen a 16-inch wheel. Like, these things are incredible. Whoever had this truck kept their 16s clean. But they just, I don't know. I don't like that look. I can sell these and be close, probably half of what I paid for these would come out of these. So I'm really not spending a ton of money here. The shackles are like 50 bucks. And of course, taking the trim off is free. But anyway, let's, I think we're gonna start with the shackles actually. And what's cool about this truck, and I say cool, I wish it had it, but it doesn't have a drop hitch, which is generally the first thing you gotta take out when you are doing shackles on one of these things. But let's climb under this truck, let's get a jack under it, climb under it, and see what we need to undo to get these shackles on. The very first thing I did was I chalked the front wheels. So I've got some wheel chocks up there. I don't want it rolling forward. And then I lifted the back of the truck. You can see from the center of the differential. And then I've got some jack stands on the frame, and they're just where the frame starts to flatten out. And the reason I did that is I'm gonna relieve some of the pressure on the rear end and let it set somewhat on the jack stands. Now that we have it setting somewhat on the jack stands, I've still got some pressure on the rear end here that you can see. But we're gonna take these 21 millimeters out. Now, depending on how you're taking them out, if you're taking them out by hand, it might not be a bad idea to squirt some WD-40 on this. But I'm gonna go ahead and use my impact with a swivel on it. And I'm just gonna whip these out really quick. Like I said, they are 21 millimeter. And so I'm gonna put, on the bottom one, I should be able to get the impact on the inside, but obviously on the top one, we're not gonna be able to do that. So we should be able to get it up here in this space, but if not, you may have to take it off by hand if you don't have enough room to get your impact into place. So now that I've got the nut off the end of both the top and the bottom one, I went ahead and relieved some of the pressure on the jack until the tires almost are touching the ground, and we should be able at this point to pull this bottom section out, just like that. And we'll do that on both sides. So we'll grab the other side, loosen the other side too. We'll grab the bottom ones out, and then what we'll do is we'll gradually lift the top until we can clear that bolt on the top side of the frame. So you can see I've got the bottom one out, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift that up just a little bit. See how I'm lifting the rear end up? And what that'll allow us to do is sneak that bolt over the top side, and then we'll be ready to grab our new one and just reverse that process. So I'll get this one out and then we'll compare the two. So you can see I've got them out, and the difference between the two, this is the factory one. And what this does is it pulls the rear end up closer in the back. So it puts more space in, which it would make sense if you were able to draw it out so you could see how it worked, but you do have two adjustments here. So you have the tallest one is gonna be for the 2-inch setting. The next one down would be a 1-inch. We're gonna go as far as we can on those. So basically all we have to do is reverse that process. So I'm gonna put this up on the top of the leaf spring. I'm gonna run that bolt through just like it was before, and then we will let some pressure off the jack, let this back down, and we'll get the bottom one in place. So you can see I have the new ones in. Now a couple things to make note of is on the old ones, the open part was facing back. On the Beltec ones that I chose, and there's a couple reasons I chose these guys. For one, they use rubber bushings instead of polyurethane. I'm telling you guys, these don't squeak. The factory uses rubber. Is rubber wear out faster? Yes, but it also is quiet, and I like my trucks quiet. But once I put the top bolt in, which is, like I said, just to reverse the other, I was able to just pull from this center hole enough to get the bottom one in. So I was able to get them both in at the same time. So what we're gonna do at this point is I'm gonna lift this back up to where it's off the jack stands, and we're actually supporting the weight with the axle, and then we're gonna torque these things down. Now that those bolts are in, and I've got them just hand tight with a ratchet, we need to go ahead and torque those. And so guys, here's where this is very important. You don't wanna bend this, because a lot of people just hammer this down with an impact. While it's okay to take it apart with an impact, don't put it back together with an impact. You really need to torque this down. That is why it has a torque spec, so you don't pinch this and it binds and squeaks after a week. And believe me, it will. So what do we need to torque this to? Well, the top goes to 70 and the bottom goes to 70. It's literally that easy. So I'm gonna go ahead, put my 21 on there, torque this down to the 70 foot-pounds top and bottom. And then we might as well, since we got the back off the ground, go ahead and get these tires off. Now that we got those bolts torqued down, like I said, since we got it off the ground, we might as well go ahead and replace these back wheels. I'm using a 7/8, and I'm using my impact, but guys, you do not have to be aggressive here. These are just plastic caps that screw on to keep this center cap in place. So don't hammer down on them. You just need to get them loose so you can get access to the lug nuts. Just like that. And then we're gonna use that same 7/8, it should be, yeah, to get the wheel off. We got the new wheel here, and I cleaned these up, barrels and all. But a couple things that I didn't like. First of all, these lug nuts are meant to be hidden. They're ugly, they look terrible, and the guy that I bought these from did not have the original lug nuts. So what I did was, if you go on eBay and you're not really picky, I mean, you can buy new ones, don't get me wrong, but they make takeoffs. You know, a lot of guys buy these trucks and they put black wheels on them. They want black lug nuts. So sometimes, I'll post a link in the video, but sometimes you can get lucky and find a set of takeoffs, and that's what I found. And comes with the whole set, but it just looks better. You can see the difference here. It just looks way better. The other thing is this is a GMC wheel, and obviously, I'm driving a Silverado, and I do not like having Silverado with GMC center caps. So I found on Amazon some nice Chevy with black centers. Now you can get them with the gold, but that looks so much better than the factory GMC, obviously, and it looks better than the gold that the normal Chevy would come with. So I think this is going to look pretty nice. We'll go ahead and get all 6 of these on here, and get the back set down. We'll go around the other side and do it real quick. I'll probably time lapse that for you. And we'll set it down on the ground in the back, and then we'll move hopefully to the front. Now that we got them all on, I'm going to go ahead and torque them to 100 foot-pounds. I try not to get real crazy with my impact so I can still swing to the proper torque spec, but that impact, it'll put it down way more than 100 foot-pounds if you hammer on it. So while those wheels look really good, I'm not going to show you guys a step back look of it until we get this trim off, or these badges, whatever. So I've got my normal kit, I call my trim removal kit. So we've got the heat gun, got some fishing line, We've got some 3M adhesive remover, and we've got my eraser wheel on my drill. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna heat this up. You guys have seen this before. I'm gonna time lapse this as well. So we're gonna heat this up and get it off there. So this one's being a little stubborn in the fact that it doesn't want me to get behind it with the fishing line. This is more like one of those bubble stickers. So what I'm gonna do is I'm using a plastic razor blade. Yeah, there's such a thing as a plastic razor blade. You guys didn't know. Probably didn't get it hot enough. Not bad. I don't actually think I'll have to use my eraser wheel on this. I think I'll just be able to use some of this adhesive remover. May take a little more work, but it's such a small section here that it's not that bad. If you kind of let that adhesive remover set, which I never do, it kind of helps. I'm going to use the drill anyway. Taking too long. Now on panels like this, I'm gonna have to paint correct it, I think. But because I may paint correct more than just these sections, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it now or if I'm gonna do it when I do the entire truck. I don't know, we'll just see. You may see some paint correction in this video. That'll drive me crazy. Now, remember a few minutes ago when I said I wasn't gonna get my polisher out, or that's gonna drive me nuts. This doesn't scrub off quite as good as I'd like for it to, so I'm gonna use some M105 and my Griots polisher with the microfiber on it, and we'll see if we can get this outline off and make this look a lot better. On the tailgate, there's a bunch of stuff that's always flying up, so it's always dirtier than the rest of the truck. You're gonna have more around the edges and stuff, so I'm gonna go ahead and make a couple passes on this, see if we can make it look better. Well, after a couple passes, I got a majority of it out. There's still, like I said, these emblems, over time, they etch the clear a little bit. So you may have just a slight outline at some point. And guys, these do not have a ton of clear. So, you know, newer cars have way more clear on them. So you gotta be a little bit more careful on these guys. So don't get too aggressive, but a couple passes will at least get the staining off. So at this point, guys, we are finished up, and I have to say, I think it looks better. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, but the wheels, The rear dropped down just a little bit, and those tires are a little bit taller than the factory tires, which makes it look a little nicer. Now, look, do I want it to be slammed? I really don't think I want it slammed. Now, I'm thinking if I can find a 2.4 drop, I might do that. And I always swore I would never do the 4-inch drop in the back because I don't love the shackle option or the front hanger. I'm not a huge fan of doing that. You guys saw on a video quite a while back where I reversed that, actually went from a 4 to a 6 for a guy. And I always swore I'd never do another one. But honestly, I don't think I want a slam truck to daily drive. I like it low, but this will be good for now. Anyway, like I said, I think the wheels look better. Let me know what you guys think. Definitely the 1500 badges coming off looks better. Like I said, I'm gonna leave this trim because I think it looks pretty nice. Generally, it's in crappy shape, and this is in pretty good shape. But we got all the badges, the LS badges off, got the badges off the door, badges off the tailgate, and yeah, it's gonna be a nice little truck. So in the next video on this thing, guys, like I said, I'm going to show you an interior detail. So we're gonna be blowing this thing apart. I'll show you exactly how I do things, which is probably different than the way everybody else does it, but I'm really picky. So anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you enjoy this new daily driver. Like I said, I don't have a ton of plans. It's not gonna take the place of the green truck, the Trans Am, the OBS. Those are my primary focus right now as far as builds. And so, you know, I'm not gonna do a ton of stuff to this, but I am gonna show you what I am doing. So if you do enjoy this video, guys, or did enjoy this video, please, like always, smash that thumbs up button. If you are not subscribed, guys, please go down there, hit that subscribe button. Of course, while you're down there, ring that bell icon that notifies you every single time we drop a new video, and stay tuned to see what we work on next.